Who doesn't want to be exalted? Who doesn't want to be placed in the highest places? We all do, we all want to be exalted by God. But do you know why many people within a church, carrying a Bible, claiming to be Christian, serving God, are not exalted? Because they are failing to do something extremely important and necessary that every true Christian needs to do. Stay until the end of this message because today you will learn how to be exalted by God. Do you want to be exalted? Do you want to have a blessed life? Then stay until the end of this video because you are going to learn what is necessary to be exalted, and it's not a lot. There's only one thing you need to do, and if you do it, God will exalt you. Let's go to James. James in chapter 4. James is going to tell us this. In verse 8. Draw near to God and he will draw near to you. Sinners, cleanse your hands, and you double-minded, purify your hearts. We must always draw near to God. How do we draw near to God? By seeking His presence. There are Christians who are only Christians inside the church. Do you know people like that? They are only a Christian if they are inside the church. They only pray if they are inside the church. They only read the Bible during the service. But they don't talk to God at their home. They don't know what it is to pray in the middle of the night. They don't know what it is to open the Bible at home. They are only Christians inside the church. When they leave the church, they transform. They no longer draw near to God. And then, brother, you have to draw near. When you go to a service, you are going there precisely to worship God, to speak with God. That's already the purpose. Now, you show you're a true Christian when you're outside the church, when you're at your home, when you're at your work, when you're on the street. That's when you show you're a Christian by drawing near to God, seeking God, speaking with God, seeking His Word. So, my brother, don't be a Christian only inside the church, because a true Christian is a Christian everywhere. And he says more. We have to draw near to God. Because He is the one who will cleanse our hands. And if we are double-minded, we need to decide soon, because you can't remain divided in the presence of God. Either you want God, or you want the world. So if your mind is divided by passions, you need to purify your heart. The heart is the mind. You have to purify, you have to remove what is worthless and say, God, I want my mind to be yours. I want my mind to focus solely on you. I wash my hands here in your presence. Because I don't want to be dirty, I don't want the filth of this world. And then in verse 9, he continues saying, Mourn and weep, let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to gloom. For many, this is heavy, because the person lives in ease, lives in the practices of the world. Becomes a Christian only when entering the church and then forgets about God, does not draw near anymore. Then it's easy to be a Christian, right? It's easy because you don't pay the price, because you don't draw near to God, because you only do things for God when you are in the service. My brother, look at what James is saying to the church. He's saying, look, you have to grieve, repent and weep, that is, it has to come from the depths of the soul. You have to be sincere, you have to abandon the easy laughter and mourn the euphoria, the things of the world, the adrenaline, the madness, and do what? Reflect, see how your life is, see how your soul is now. You want to be exalted by God, but you're only a Christian inside the church. You want to be exalted by God, but you don't take a little time to reflect on your life. How rotten we are inside, in the sins we commit. You don't stop to grieve over this, to repent and weep, to cry out for help, the mercy of God, to remove the smile from your face, to really mourn, to exchange euphoria for gloom, to really reflect, to say, God, what am I doing? Who am I? Look how dirty I am. Look how far I am from you. Deceiving myself inside a church, carrying a Bible, and I'm deceiving myself. And so, what you need to be exalted, what is it? From the beginning, I'm talking, what is it? Verse 10, James says this: humble yourselves in the presence of the Lord, and He will lift you up. Do you want to be exalted by God? Gosh, I want to be exalted. I can't take it anymore. Some areas of my life are a failure, are just sadness, my brother. Then humble yourself in the presence of God, that is to humble. It's about giving up the world and drawing near to God. It's about being a Christian everywhere, at every moment. Connected to God. Going to make a decision, consult God. Gosh, you talk to so many people, can't you take a little time to talk to God? And we've already learned this here on the channel. Maybe you're not subscribed here. If you're not, don't waste time. There's always a new message, every other day, coming out here on the channel to feed you, to nourish your soul. So, hit that button, just press the button, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a like so the video reaches more people. Then subscribe so you don't miss out. One message complements another. One preaching complements another. And the overall result is having your soul cleansed. Your mind opened, knowledge of the truth being received by you, and you being a true Christian with a fully blessed life and, of course, the main thing, walking towards salvation. So, my brother, if you want to be exalted, there's no magic formula, no ritual, no tutorial you have to follow, my brother. If you want to be exalted by God, you need to humble yourself before Him. Say, God, I know I did this, did that, and it's wrong. I acknowledge that I need your mercy. I recognize that I am a poor sinner, that I don't deserve your grace, and yet your grace reaches me. Your mercy reaches me every day. The Lord delivers me, the Lord keeps my life, my family safe. Look at everything I have, the Lord gave me. My brother, be humble in the presence of God. Sometimes exchange laughter for tears. Don't cry in the presence of God. How long has it been since you knelt down to talk to God? How long has it been since you prayed in the middle of the night? By the way, have you ever prayed at night? Have you ever spoken to God? Woken up in the middle of the night to talk to Daddy? Then you complain that God doesn't exalt you. And then you look at your neighbor. Oh, God is exalting him. But why doesn't God exalt me? I'm going to church. I'm meditating on the Bible, inside the church. I carry the Bible under my arm, I tell everyone I'm a believer, yes. But what about your intimacy with God? And your life in secrecy? How is your inner self, my brother? Don't just focus on appearances, as we've also learned here. It's better to be than to seem. You can find all these messages here on the channel. After this message, look for them. Watch, listen to the preachings, there are many preachings here, so that you can present yourself to God. With knowledge of the Word, knowing who God is, what He has done and does for you, how you should live according to His will. My brother, there's only one way to be exalted, it's when you humble yourself, it's when you come before God and say, God, I know I don't deserve anything, I know I'm a poor sinner, have mercy on me, I know I did this, did that and it's wrong, forgive me. Humble yourself, my brother, put your mouth in the dust, humble yourself. Because then, God will exalt you. Humble yourself not because you are a pitiful one who can't bear the struggle anymore, but humble yourself because you recognize that it's only before God that you have to prostrate yourself, and not before the struggles. Also, stay tuned to the channel, because we are going to learn a lot more about prostrating before God, and not before the struggles. If you're new here, welcome, leave a like and comment here so I know you've made it to the end of this message. Don't forget, be a Christian everywhere.